was a life I could have known, one beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I have today. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I had today. Everywhere I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I won't forget the lessons that I don't deserve.
Good morning, Robertson County. This is 1100 WSGI. I'm your Turn Laverne. This is One Street Over, Wichita Ramblers singing us in as they always do. In Facebook, we own that song. Or actually, the Wichita Ramblers let me use that song. Facebook, they crack me up because they'll mute me because some song's playing. And we talk about this every now and then. Hi, Terry Wilson. What is up?
Hey, how you doing this morning?
Doing fabulous, just fabulous. So good to see you. I missed you last time.
We missed you too.
And I had no voice. I had no voice last time. So Sweetly Marie, she stood in. And you're saying she's a deep probing journalist.
That's
Ask those hard questions, huh?
That's it. That's it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, very good.
But she did a great job.
Yeah, she does. She does a fabulous job. We love her, and she's actually. It's so funny because we've got. She's going to be filling in for me next week because I'm taking off fall break, and so she's seeing that maybe she needs to get somebody to kind of train to fill in for her rather than her having to do 2 hours next week.
Yeah.
So. Clint Wooten is coming in, and he's going to be here with Pat, and they're going to fill in officially for Lee Marie today to get them acclimated to, I guess, filling in next week, that kind of thing. So we're getting people trained in here.
There you go.
Because I'm now that I'm a teacher, and we get these fall breaks. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm going to take, and I say I'm taking next week off. I've got things scheduled pretty much every single day.
I was going to say, who are you kidding?
Yeah. So, am I taking the day off? Yeah, not really. I'm working. Well, I'm working on photography now, and we're really turning our place. We'd had this idea to turn, to have a venue. There's too many venues in Robertson County. We cannot compete with the venues who have the atmosphere. They have the barn and it's air conditioned, and that's not a barn, but whatever, you do you. But so we can't really compete with that. And so rather than try, I'm reviving my photography. And so we're going to be a photography venue. So there you go. And we're doing some of that. I've already, I've already done some, but I've not pushed too much marketing out on it yet, but coming soon, you'll see more. But so I'm working on that next week. So yes, I'm working next week, but I am taking it off from radio. To say all that, I always have to take I have to go the back roads to tell you a story. That's what I do.
Well, that's what we have to do.
But that's where Lee Marie is today. She's letting Clint and Pat come in and have their time so they can kind of help her next week since she's filling in for me. There you go. Terry Wilson's here. I will shut up now. It took me 5 minutes to say hello and good morning. And how are you?
I feel beat up.
I'm sorry. What's going on?
Oh, we had last week was all training. We had to do a lot of our annual, semi-annual training last week.
Okay.
And Monday we went to Montgomery Bell, which was not a
beautiful place.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's something else just to get up in the morning. You look out on the lake and you listen to the geese. It's like, do I really want to do anything today? And it's like, well, I'll have to go to a makeup training if I don't do this.
Yeah, so you better do it. Better do it.
Yeah, so we got back Wednesday evening, and then we started in on our semi-annual American Legion training.
Okay.
And we took a 2.5 day training, knocked it out in 2 days. Our brains were fried.
Yeah.
By Friday afternoon, evening, our brains were fried.
I feel you.
And Scott's on vacation this week, so I'm the only one at the office. And speaking of that, we do have an opening at the office.
Full-time, part-time?
Full-time. 37 and a half hours, and starts at as a admin assistant title on it, but they have the potential to grow into being an assistant VSO.
Okay, I know exactly who needs to apply for this job, and I'll tell you after because I need to call her because I'm like, I know who, and she knows if she's listening. Perfect for it.
There's applications can be downloaded from the county website, or they can be picked up at our office.
Okay.
And so there's a couple ways to be able to get those. And I know on the advertisement I'm saying, our cutoff is going to be Friday this week.
Okay.
But we've received a few applications, but we're, as I told Scott, I said, I need somebody who's going to work very well with you. I said, because I'm looking at the time to when I'm not going to be here.
Right.
And I said, I can work with anybody. All I have to do is shut the door.
There's that.
Yeah.
I feel you. I know.
So it is, it can make you feel good at the end of the day, and you can feel like, why in the world do I do this? And then you get that one phone call that just
makes your life.
It is. It is. And when you get that sweet little surviving spouse and you're able to get benefits for them, or the gentleman that all he wants is some hearing aids, but yet you end up being able to get a service connection for him. And so he gets a little extra income each month for his time in. So it's those are the heartwarming ones.
That's incredible. So it's got to be somebody that's got a heart for the veterans.
Got to.
Got to. And do you have benefits, insurance, things like that? Wow.
Yes. Insurance, retirement. With the school system, you have the TCRS. Yeah. Well, that's what we have.
Whoa. Okay.
So we're in
this is a good gig, y'all. You need to be applying for this.
Yeah. There's not a lot of openings that come into the county, and there is not a problem with being with local government.
To be able to work with the veterans, what a blessing!
Yeah.
Oh my!
And it is. You work with some of the best people around, and I tell everyone I like to talk, and so sometimes our time that when I'm in an appointment with someone, if it's first time, we're going to talk for a bit. I want to know their story.
Yeah.
I want to know what's going on. Also, I want to know where they've been. You know, where'd you come from? Where we get? How did we get to here?
It's kind of the premise we have for this show. We want
That's
to know
it.
your backstory. Very
That's
good.
it. And you know, so many guys says, "Oh, you know, I really didn't do anything important." A friend of mine lost several years back. He goes, "I was just a truck driver." Ah, come on, John. What'd you do? And he goes, "Well, I was just a truck driver." After he passed, his wife found all of his award certificates inside of a picture frame. It was in there, in behind some pictures. And yeah, he was a truck driver, but he was also the guy that ran towards the fire if he had to help get somebody out. So, bottom line, yeah, he was a truck driver, but he was a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
But he was humble and he was very modest.
Oh man, and that's an amazing opportunity, guys. So you really want applications in by the end of this week.
Yeah.
That's the cutoff. And
Yep.
if you want to do a job that will just fill your heart to overflowing, that has insurance and benefits and a retirement plan, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that's a phenomenal opportunity.
Oh, and
Yeah.
I want to top it off. I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but Robertson County in Springfield has a employee clinic, health clinic.
Yes, they do. I haven't visited it yet, but I'm sure there'll be a time that I'll need to. But and so
Same,
they would have access to that as well.
oh, yes. If they're in the health care plan, then they do have access to that. So, I mean, there's a lot of great things. There's a lot of things that the county is doing that's different from what a lot of other areas are. And I think with those things, it does help on retention for people to stay
Oh,
there.
absolutely.
I mean, if anybody can tell me when the last time was the county laid somebody off.
I don't know. Doesn't usually happen. Well, because the services, it's during COVID. Okay, during COVID, whenever you're working at jobs that serve the public, you still got to be out there.
Yeah.
And that's one thing my husband and I saw in the things that we do. They were when you have something
Yeah.
that's a necessity, and usually the things that are going on within the county and with the government, they're just things that's got to be done.
Yeah.
So you got to take care of these folks.
We had
so.
to make a lot of changes, and you know, and it was a little tough at first, but then it got a little easier for everyone to make that change on
Right.
how we conducted business to keep. You know, we had to keep the lights on and keep the doors open.
Right.
And
Well, very good.
so that is, to me, that's a great thing. And if for some reason we're not able to kind of have a good pool to be able to interview and stuff, there is always a possibility that we may extend that.
Okay,
But-
but ideally get those applications in by the
Yep.
end of the week.
And there is preference for veterans, but
okay.
still, you know, it still comes down to ability, you know, to do the job and the heart.
Okay.
And
Well, I have a great candidate for you right now in my mind, but I'm not going to say it out loud. But
yeah,
I think they might be interested.
and it would be great.
Okay, very
And,
good. All right, guys. Talking with Terry Wilson. He is our Veteran Service Officer here in Robertson County, amongst 1,000 other things. And we're going to continue visiting with him about all the things that are going on for the veterans. And that's a big news, though, that you are hiring in your office. If you are interested in that full-time position with benefits, retirement package, oh my, great opportunity for you to pour into our veterans. You need to reach out to him. You say on the website, where exactly?
Robertson County. Oh shoot!
So it's basically, it is a county job, so it'll be hired just like if
Yeah.
you were applying for any job in the county.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they do
okay.
have it on the Robertson County website. So.
Okay. Well, that's where you go and apply for that position, you guys. Is there any kind of an education required? Is there degree preferable? Anything like that on there?
Well, we take everything into consideration.
Okay.
Do have to have graduated high school. That's
Okay, so,
that's a
you
key
know,
one there. When you look at one of the studies that I had looked at a couple of years ago, and they took the majority of service officers across the U.S. have high school level education.
Okay.
Then the percentages start getting smaller for some college, an associate degree, bachelor's degree, and 1% has a master's.
Okay. But if they do have a degree, that is going to be something that's going to
Yeah.
flag them and say, okay.
Yeah.
So they've got a little bit higher education.
Yeah,
So, okay.
I know they can research.
There you go. Exactly. And that's the key. And I cannot say this enough, that you've got to have a heart for the veterans, because if you do not have a heart for the people who you are serving, don't apply. Don't apply. Don't apply just because you think, oh, that'd be a job. No, it is a calling.
Yeah.
When you
It
work with
is.
veterans, it is a calling. So if you have, if you're looking for a position and you're looking for a calling on your life to serve those who have served us so diligently, apply for this job. Let's pause for a minute. Let's talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. My friends in the Exit Realty Garden Gate community, real estate community, they are just wanting to invite you to come in and talk to them if you have any kind of real estate questions, because here's the bottom line. If you're looking at anything here in Robertson County, they say work with somebody that knows the area. There's a lot of different places you can go, but you want somebody. We got one of those crazy ads in the mail, and I wish I had it with me, but it basically is. Kind of like a national sale thing. Don't worry about talking to a realtor. Give it to us, and we'll put it out there, and we'll get you an offer on your house. But trust me, guys, you're not going to get the top dollar. You're not going to have that personable experience with somebody that's going to come and give you a video of somebody walking through your house without having to walk through your house. That virtual reality walkthrough tour. 360-degree virtual reality walk-through tour that Barry is absolutely known for. He is the guy that actually goes out and helps other realtors with the photography on their properties, because he's so good at what he does, because he was a marketer for many years in Nashville. He actually retired from being a vice president of a marketing company, came full-time with real estate. His wife, Rebecca, came out of a radiology background, and somebody said to her many, many years ago, you'd be good in real estate, and my goodness, isn't she? You're going to love working with them. If you want to call them, 615-504-7425. 615-504-7425 is the number to call. They specialize in Robertson County properties, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line up in Kentucky. Dear friends, wonderful realtors, and they're also saying, hey, you want to be a realtor? Want somebody say to you that you'd be great at real estate? This is a great team to join, and they've got a great program to mentor you into the real estate community. Go and talk to them today. Sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, RobertsonCounty.com, or the number, a couple of times again, we'll give it to you, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. Tell them always you turn Cynthia, Terry Wilson in the house. She is our veteran service officer. He's also, what is your position? You're like the head of the VFW here?
No,
more?
I'm just post service officer with them.
Service officer.
I thought I was.
So you're not in charge.
Not at the
Okay.
VFW.
I'm Ron
I
Jordan with
am
your
back
local
at the American
news
League.
from
Okay.
I had about
SGI.
a 60-day break, and our incoming commander had some conflicts, working with family and work and stuff, and so I moved back into the position. So I'm,
Okay.
but I had 2 months.
There you go. Very good. And are you moved yet? You guys were moving to?
We are in process of moving now. We got our occupancy certificate a week ago this past Friday.
Congratulations. I know you're ready.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Robert. I mean, you've been here living in,
Yeah.
rental property, but, officially homeowner Robertson County.
That's it. That's it.
Yay. That process started about how long ago? When did y'all decide to move? When did you sell your Nashville property?
We sold the Nashville property in October last year.
Really?
We broke
That
ground.
quick? Wow.
We
Right out a year. Wow.
we had we broke ground on September 2nd, and it's taken 13 months.
Yeah, it's part of it because it's just
And-
it's the supply chains
Well,
and contract.
and-
It's just so hard to get.
Majority of it
Yeah.
was not supplies; it was trying to get the subs there.
Uh-huh.
And general contractor, unfortunately, he had a health condition and landed him in the hospital for a month. And
What can you do? Yeah.
yeah, his wife was trying to help out and send messages to the guys and contact them, and it just went in one ear and out the other with them. And when he was able to get back out to the job site, he was not a happy camper. And I think there's maybe a fean subs that maybe lost a little bit of their backside.
Oh, bless. I'm telling you. It's tough.
And,
it's tough right now. I mean, just trying to get things done. I had a friend called, and I won't call him out and tell you who it is, but he messaged me, and he's like, hey, I want to do some renovations and remodeling on my house, and who do you recommend? And I said, oh, which timeline? Because I said, because everybody's so covered up. And so I pointed him to a couple of people. I said, this person will know who can point you in the right direction. Well, I'll just tell you, Trent Cobb Hill Homes. I said, he's got his finger on the pulse of all of that here in Robertson County. So I said, call Trent, talk to him. And I said, if he's too covered up to do it himself, he will point you in the right direction. So, because I mean, it's just crazy busy right now. So I'm so tickled that you've got your house and you're moving in. And
we've done.
You'll get to have Christmas in the new place.
That's it. We've been two storage buildings now.
Oh, yay!
So that was like a pay raise.
Congratulations. Well, yeah, you don't have to pay the rental on that now.
I've only got 3 more to go.
Well, bless you, bless you. Congratulations. Hope you settle in, get to have Turkey Day in your house and all of that. You get to have Thanksgiving.
I'm just looking for the day just to be able to sit there and prop my feet up and say, you know what, I'm not going anywhere.
There you go. That's a nice feeling when you know that you're in the place that you don't have to move and do all that. I've been in that for a long time, and when I hear my friends that are building and moving, I'm like, God bless you. I'm not moving unless the Lord makes me, and I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, I tried not to tell my docs too much about that at the VA because they would definitely have had me committed for a little while. And, you know, there's times that 4 or 5 day break of just signing yourself in does not seem like a bad idea.
Oh. Sign yourself into the hospital. It's like, I just need to rest. That's great.
That's it.
Oh, too funny. Terry Wilson's with us. New homeowner here in Robertson County and good friend, VA. He is our Veteran Service Officer. Tell them where your office is located in case somebody's been under a rock and they've not been paying attention to what we're doing and where you are. Just make sure in case, because we got a lot of newbies in town. So,
well, we've always been told we're the best kept secret in Robertson County. But our address is 505 South Brown Street here in Springfield, and our phone number is 615-382-6506, and that's 615-382-6506. We have been at the Springfield at the county office building for come Christmas be 2 years.
Wow, really? Time just flies.
Yeah.
And what's very interesting, if any of you guys follow Bill Jones, I encourage you to do that because he's the Springfield Robertson County historian, and he put up a photograph just a couple of days ago of the building when it was opened as the hospital. And back in, and this is the building. When I first moved here in '92, it was still the hospital. And once they, built the new hospital and all of that, it shut down from being a medical building and became the county building. And then you guys, they made space for you. I think Billy Vogel was like, y'all need to get on over here. Wasn't that what happened?
Well,
I think something to that degree. Or did you put a request in for it?
I put a request in.
Did you?
I went down with him. I told him, I said, boss, I said, of course, there at winter of 2020, we were still dealing with all the COVID restrictions and all of that. And I told him, I said, I've got to have enough room where I can get all my folks back in the office.
Right. Because y'all couldn't spread out enough to keep with COVID standards, right? Where you were.
And sometimes we need that some face-to-face with ourselves so that if we got something we're working on, we kind of bounce some ideas off of each other, and which is a great thing to do. And I feel for the ones in the counties where they're the only one there, and it's like, gosh, is this really the best avenue? And so having that to discuss with me and Scott, even if we know what the answer is, sometimes just bouncing it around might give us a different different look into it.
Right.
At least slows us down, makes to where we look at it a little bit more.
Just having somebody, like you said, to bounce ideas off of and to work with. I'm actually flipping through Bill's page right now to see if I can't find that picture because it was very interesting to me seeing that building. So familiar with it now, but to see it in its original intent as the hospital. So I think that's wonderful. But I'm tickled that y'all were able to get an office over there, and just can't encourage you enough, folks, to share with any veteran you might know Robertson County's best kept secret of our Veteran Service Office.
Yeah, and we're located on the first floor. You come in by the county clerk's office, go towards the elevators. That's a left towards the elevators, and take a right into the main hall. We're the first office on the left. If you've been to the county building to be able to pay your property taxes, we're right there before you get to the property taxes.
There you go.
So right before the trustee's office. So easy to find. Great parking here. Much easier for our folks to get in and out. And at least they don't have a long distance to go from their car to get under a roof to be able to get inside. So that does help out tremendously.
There is, some talk too if they're going to do a little bit, because the parking sometimes gets busy, just during busy times of the month. And there's talk of putting in a parking garage, isn't there, in that space? I mean, it seems like Billy and I have had that conversation. Mayor Billy Vogel, I have to just clarify that with him, but it seems like there's some talk of possibly doing some kind of a parking garage in that space to give some extra parking there for the county, because it does, from time to time, get a little crowded there.
Yeah,
so
it does, and seems like the first few days of the month and the last few days of the month,
of course,
everyone getting their tar tags.
Mine are due at the end of this month, as a matter of fact.
And but they do have a drive-through, and I understand it does back up a little bit. But I tell you, the team that Angie Groves has over there, she's got a wonderful team in her office. I think they do a great job. And anytime you're coming to try to do business that has to be done, I always tell everybody, pack your patience.
Yes, absolutely. But we've got some great folks that work over there, including yourself, my friend. And we're talking with Terry Wilson. We've been talking about all kinds of different things, but we want to make sure we get to the meat of what we need to address. And turkey shoot. I mean, come on. I mean, that's the big thing that you guys have got going on right now as we move through the fall months. Wouldn't you say? Would that be your biggest deal right now?
Yeah. It is, and it started last Saturday. And they had a wonderful, wonderful turnout.
Oh, good.
They had folks that was there wanting to sign up at 7 o'clock, and we started at 8. So we try to hold on as long as we can. But in less than 30 minutes, they actually booked 16 rounds.
Oh, my goodness.
Full. And that's
wow.
That's 14 shooters to a round.
Wow.
16 rounds.
Wow. Thank you, guys. That helps so much with
it does.
The funding, the things that you need to do for the veterans, and I mean, wow, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
Were you guys blown away?
Usually our first day it sometimes can be a little slow,
right?
Because folks are out doing different things. This year we weren't competing with Smoke on the Ridge.
Yeah.
So that worked out very well for us, and I think we had the only main function that was going last weekend.
Right.
And not only our dedicated regulars were there, but we've also had a lot of new folks that are coming in. Some folks came and shot with us back in the spring, and they're back, and I mean, it's family friendly. It's a great place to come if you've got younger children or any of your kids, and especially the younger ones or grandchildren, and you're wanting to start introducing them to guns and all,
right?
Then, hey, this is a great place to come, because we do try to run a very safe turkey shoot. It's a lot of fun, and it doesn't matter what kind of gun you're shooting. It doesn't matter if you're 5 or 6 or if you're 96. It's all comes down to the luck of where the pellet hits.
There you go. I love it. I love it. And this is going to be going on through when?
Through the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Okay. So it's a lot of good, and this is an opportunity for you to, if you want to pour into the veterans and have some fun. All the funds raised go to assist with things like groceries or rides to the hospital, filling a gas tank, paying an electric bill, the benevolence type needs. This is the benevolence side of taking care of our veterans. Is they don't. This is your big fundraiser.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, this is what they fund the benevolence programs with here in the county. Because when you talk about what Terry does as far as in the Veteran Service Office, that's where he files the paperwork for veterans that have to do with service-related injuries that they don't even didn't realize. I mean, the Agent Orange issues. Oh my goodness, the things even for some of our younger veterans coming from the burning pits. And all of those kinds of things during the war on terrorism. And there's so much that veterans are not aware of. And that's what the job is of the Veteran Service Officer. But with all that, as you get to know these folks, and you'll get phone calls about, hey, there's a veteran, I found out about this guy, and he's homeless, and he has some needs. And there's a lot of homeless veterans out there, guys. And so that's what Turkey Shoot, things that are raising money specifically to address the benevolent needs of the veterans in our county.
It goes for our children and youth programs, which our big one for us is Boys State, Girls State.
Right.
And
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Because there are only, I think we're averaging between 400 and 500 going actually to Boys State in the state of Tennessee. It would be great to see double that number of young men going to it. And I'm not for sure the number of Girls State that have, but we've gotten to where we try to send 2 boys, 2 girls. Okay. The girls are usually in Nashville, boys go to Cookeville, and it's a wonderful program. They learn about local government up through the state. They have an opportunity for a delegate to actually go to Boys Nation. And if they happen to go to Boys Nation and they happen to be elected a president of Boys Nation, then they go to the national convention. And I tell you, to me, and having done this in the past, having a young person that's standing up there in front of 10,000 plus Legionnaires and speaking, it is very, very heartwarming.
So I'd have been into this when I was in high school. I didn't even know this kind of stuff existed. And I was, in the cornfields of Kentucky. So I didn't even realize a lot of these things were available. And that's one of the things is talk about the best kept secret. Let your young people know, let the students know, and I'll talk about this. Matt Driscoll, that you know Matt through the Epiphany. I think you've met him. He comes on the show a lot, but he is teaching now at Greenbrier High School, and he's teaching government. So he needs to let them know about Boys State and make sure they're aware. Boys State and Girls State. I don't want to be forget the others, but Boys and Girls State. If you're interested in possibly doing something within the state or federal government, this is a really good place to get your feet wet and learn more about it. So I didn't realize that was part of what the Turkey Shoots helped to fund. Okay, very good.
To send 4 students, and of course these are juniors getting ready to be seniors.
Okay.
And so to be able to send 4 of them, now that the price has increased, costs us right at about $2,000.
For all 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. And if somebody out there just thinks that you want to pay that bill so that all the things that are raised at the Turkey Shoot can go for other things, that's always welcome too. One of my sons went to Boys State.
Yeah.
And it's quite funny that he's not the one that was, how that at the time, he didn't really know what it was.
Yeah.
He is not very involved in the government and all those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Any of my other boys would have probably been better suited to go to
Yeah.
Boys State. As I think about it, I'm like, I can't imagine. But because he's I don't need to get into that. But anyway, I'm sorry, Rabbit. I'm
Yeah.
chasing the varmint.
My middle son became an Eagle Scout
Yeah.
in 2010, 100th
Yeah.
anniversary of the Boy Scouts at that time.
Uh-huh.
And my youngest one went to Boy State in South Carolina.
Okay.
2,000 students.
Wow, that's amazing.
And my thought process, there's a lot more land area in Tennessee than there is South
Yeah,
Carolina.
we need to get better at that.
And because the more we have go, the better they can make the program.
So if you had the funding and the interest here in Robertson County, would you send 4 boys and 4 girls? I mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We would definitely send more.
Mm-hmm.
The VFW, they take and they'll try to do one of each from East Robertson.
Okay.
So and it doesn't, even though it's an American Legion program, if there's someone that wants to go, they can get their application and be able to put in. And if someone else wants to pay their way to go, then that's great. That
Okay.
can be done.
Okay.
We had one of our Boy Scouts a few years back. He came to me. They were not talking about it at their school, and so he talked to me and he says, "Mr. Terry," he says, "I'd really like to go to Boy State." And I said, "Well, you got your paperwork done?" He goes, "Oh yeah, my paperwork's done." He goes, "I just need to be able
Sure.
to make the right connections." I said, "That's no problem." What we did that night, and of course his family was going to pay for him to go.
Right.
We ended up passing a hat within our Boy Scouts, and when we did, we had enough to be able to send him.
Oh.
From the leadership, we passed a hat amongst the leadership, and
Oh, that's wonderful.
And I mean, we ended up being able to pay for him to go. And his family was like, "Well, we were taking care of that." "Oh no, this is very important, and so we want to support him. He's earned his Eagle. This is going to be another great thing for him to have, and it's going to look good not only on his college paperwork,
Oh yeah.
but then also it's going to look good in his lifetime,
Absolutely.
because so few go."
Well, so, is Greenbrier involved? Does
Greenbrier High?
Yeah.
Yes.
They do push it. Well,
Yep.
good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yep. Mr. Hugh Nichols, he stays
Okay.
on them. Matter of
Okay,
fact,
well, good.
he's already getting on them now.
Okay. Well, very good. Very good. Well, then maybe I can get Matt to help bang the drum to support that.
Yeah.
Since he's doing some government classes. Very good. Talking with Terry Wilson about all things Veterans Service Office related, and you were talking about how that Lee Marie was a probing journalist. What did she ask you that was so? Did she ask you tough questions? I'm curious. I need to go back and listen.
No,
I need to
they're
go back and.
not. I wish I could say I could get stumped. I've been stumped a few times, but no, Lee Marie was really good. Don't ask me to remember. I can't tell you
How
what I
funny.
did
I'm going to have to
yesterday.
go back and listen. I have to go back and listen and say, but because I'm just in the work that you do, the primary thing is just making sure that the veterans know what's available, and how that I think one thing that you addressed one time, and I think it's something that wouldn't be a bad thing for us to revisit, is how that they have changed how they've classified service. You know what I'm talking? Do you know what I'm specifically referring to? And I know I'm going to say it wrong, but you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
In the last year, there's been some classifications changed that give veterans that did not have some benefits before now an opportunity to collect those benefits. Right?
And
did I say that well?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're kind of right along that line. And it's like they've changed the dates of service in Vietnam for boots on ground. They've actually backed that up. And now with the new PAC Act, we've got new islands that's been included in it. Thailand, Guam, for anyone that was a what they consider to be an atomic vet. the Atoll Islands. And so, I mean, there's a lot of things that's been opened up. And things have been in a positive way for veterans. I'd say in the last few years, we had, I know under Mr. Trump, we had a lot of good changes then. We saw the VA actually turning claims quicker. Then with COVID, everything started going backwards. And it's still not fully back where we were, but things that they've done, survivor's pension and DIC, they've pulled that out to one specific office. They're the ones that do the processing on it. Blue water claims, they go to one specific area. Once they're worked on the main regional office level, then they're sent to this other hub to where they actually take and they start doing the research on the ship and trying to get the logbooks and all of that to be able to, for our blue water vets.
What is it? What is that? I've not heard that one. Blue water. What exactly is that?
Okay. Now, the guys that were a lot of times on the LSTs and some of the troop carriers and things with the Navy that went up through the rivers and the canals, those are considered brown water, which that's just about the same as being boots on ground.
Okay. If you were on the, right.
And if you was within 12 nautical miles of Vietnam, even if the ship just crossed in there for 2 hours, then you considered you're a blue water veteran. And there have been now allowed to where we can file for Agent Orange presumptions and for conditions under the Blue Water Navy Act.
Okay.
So that's helped us tremendously. The things they've done for our Gulf War and our, all of our war on terrorism groups, those benefits have been widely expanded now.
Okay.
So,
because we talked about that when it happened early this year, but we haven't really revisited that, and I think a lot of people are not aware of those kinds of changes.
One of the big things that we get a lot of questions on right now is the Camp Lejeune contaminated water. We've been able to file a claim for contaminated water for several years now, but it's just the fact now everyone's getting hammered on TV, every other commercial. Camp Lejeune, you need to contact our attorney's office. You've got
Don't do that.
I mean, folks are getting hammered with it on Facebook, emails, things like that. Bottom line is, everyone's free to choose what they want to do. But as for a disability claim, we can actually do those, and you get to keep all your money.
You don't have to give it to an attorney.
There's nothing that's ever going to be a sure shot, and there are folks out there, and this kind of goes to one of the things I'd marked on expectations, is sometimes what we say and what people hear ends up being two different things.
Correct.
One thing is we don't promise that someone's going to be able to get a connection, but anything that we get is going to be solely theirs. If they go through an attorney and they're looking just on the disability side, they will actually end up charging them about anywhere from 25 to 33% of whatever they get on back pay. My philosophy on that is where's the incentive then for someone to go ahead and to get your claim done, because they're getting paid off your back pay. And we've gotten anywhere from $80,000 to almost $200,000 in back pay for veterans here in Robertson County.
That's incredible.
I'd say we have exceeded probably $1 million this year.
That's incredible,
back pay.
guys. So, I mean, would you rather take and be able to use that for your family, or have to take 30% of it and give it to your attorney?
Now, on the Camp Lejeune contaminated water, what they're doing, they're trying to get as many veterans into that as they can, or even non-veterans, because of families that were there and affected. I've read two of the contracts, in the fine print, they get 40% plus expenses out of anything that they receive. This is not back pay or anything. This is anything they receive. They get 40% plus expenses.
And these are the attorneys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can then safely say that it's going to probably be somewhere probably close to 60% that they're going to take. So for every $100 you get, you might get 40 or 45. And this is a class action suit. So then it comes down to how long is this going to go before they can win on the class action. And in the meantime, they're also, the way I read their contracts is it's also going to pick up and they're going to file on the disability side. So not only are you going to end up paying them, well, you're not, but they're going to take it out of your money. So basically you are. But then they recalculate it if it's on disability. So if you get, and because they didn't so much say disability payment, but they set a monthly payment, which has to do with disability.
That's incredible.
So they're looking at playing it from both ends. And they have no secret back doors. They have no wink, wink, nod, nod, handshake deals to where they can push something all the way through. It all comes down to when we put the claim in is having everything that we need to make that a fully developed claim, getting everything back to the VA if they ask for something else, making the strongest argument possible. A service officer, their position, and this is looking at nationwide, is equivalent to a paralegal. So there's a lot of research that goes in. We could spend anywhere from 1 hour to research. I have spent over 200 hours of research on some claims. That takes a lot of time.
Yes,
and
it does.
I probably have a caseload right now. If I count the ones that I've already got the claims pending on that are in, probably right around 200 or a little more.
Oh, wow.
Is my caseload. Scott his is climbing on up. I'd say Scott's probably every bit of 100. Or a little more than what
They need
he's
some
got.
help. So let's kind of circle back around where we started. They're hiring, and there's a job if you're interested,
Yeah.
right? Let's pause and take
Okay.
a break because we've got. I've still got a couple ads I got to do, and I've got the Go Show coming up here in just a little bit here at 8:00 with guest host Clint Wooten, and Pat Sampler is going to be in here, so they're going to be filling in for Miss Lee Marie, getting used to sitting in this seat because she's going to be sitting in my seat next week. So anyway, we're just loving how this family here at Ebenezer Broadcasting is growing. So if you want to do something here on a Christian broadcast company, worldwide Christian broadcast company, by the way, via the internet at 1100 WSGI, you need to get a hold of Ilya Maldonado. I'm sorry. I'm chasing a rabbit there. Need to talk about Veterans Motorplex. I keep calling it Highland Rim because I want to remind you constantly, if you want to know the latest that's going on at Veterans Motorplex, find Highland Rim Speedway on Facebook, because what they did is they kept that social media position because they had something like 17,000 followers, and they wanted to make sure that they were able to continue to communicate with that audience. And so you'll see they've got the big banner there that says Veterans Motorplex, so you'll know you're at the right place. But here's what they've got going on this weekend. Their original fundraiser that they were going to do for Down syndrome got canceled because of rain a few weeks ago. So they've been doing something over the last few weeks to support and raise money for people with Down syndrome and their families. And so that's continuing this weekend. And so what you've got going on this weekend is they're going to be auctioning off some things that are going to, during intermission, that are going to raise money for the Down Syndrome Association of Middle Tennessee. So that's going on, continuing through this weekend. Oh my goodness, they've got a lineup. They've got the Baby Grands, the Road Warriors, the Road Warriors, the Road Runners, Pure Stock, Powder Puff, and Smoke on the Ridge 100-lap sportsman race. 100 laps. It's going to be a lot of fun, and if you have not been to the races, you do not know what you're missing. I had somebody, one of my students just moved to town, and they came from Nashville, and he goes, there's just so much more to do in Nashville. And I said, do you know that there is a racetrack up the street from here. This is the Old Highland Rim. It is right here in Greenbrier. The address is 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. And if you want to know more, I mean, just go out to the races this weekend. And the gates open at 4. The racing starts at 6, goes till about 9. And again, your price at the gate is going to, they're raising money for, again, the Down Syndrome Association of Middle Tennessee. I'm not sure if they're doing any of the gate concession or the gate prices, but they've got a great gate price. $40 will get in 8 people, 6 minor kids and 2 adults for $40. Can't beat that deal. Got a great concession stand. Again, auction items at the intermission that's going to raise money for the Down Syndrome Association of Middle Tennessee. Go by and see Veterans Motorplex this weekend. Go to the races, and when you do, when you turn Cincha, Terry Wilson in the house, our Veteran Service Officer. What do we need to talk about next, my friend? We've been just all over the place, as we often do.
Well,
Where do you want to go next?
follow back up on the expectations thing. And one of the things that we run up against a lot is somebody come in and say, well, Billy Bob said I need to go and talk to this one, or I need to do this. Well, how long have they been doing this job? Well, they've never done it.
Yeah.
But they know. No,
they really don't.
No. And there are some folks that have been successful working their own, and there's some that will say, oh, you need to go see this person. That's how my name has gotten out a lot. I've had a lot of good success. I've had a lot of wins. I've had some losses. But we do try to be straight up and to set those expectations. And what's bad is when a claim comes back and we already knew that it was slim, and try to let the people know, hey, this is a battle. And when it's denied, then it's like, oh, well, you said we was going to be able to do this. No.
Yeah.
I pretty much give everybody the exact same spiel. And because of that, Scott is doing that as well. One of the things that we tell folks is we are not a bakery, so we don't sugarcoat anything.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to be, because if you're expecting, well, I'm owed this. Well, if you think you're owed this, then we need you to do what we need to be able to make the strongest case possible.
Right.
And those things don't come into play. And so when we're looking at conditions like homebound and aid and attendance that is attached in with whether it's pension or whether it's on a disability claim, that aid and attendance is not considered part of the care program. That aid and attendance is for that veteran or that spouse to be able to help pay someone to come in and help take care of them. If they receive the homebound, it's because they can't get out and do the run they need. So they need some supplemental there coming in each month with that. It comes down to where for both of those, it has to be related to a service-connected condition. For Vietnam veterans, stroke is not one that the VA recognizes, so it's not something they'll service connect for unless there's a connection for ischemic heart disease or coronary artery disease. And at that point in time, that does assist us in being able to get that. But the biggest thing I think we have at times, and we don't have a lot of this, we do have a little bit, is, well, I'm owed this, and they're going to have to do it. But we have to have 3 things to be able to really fight a claim, and for the VA not to be able to fight back against us a whole lot, is we got to have an in-service incident, be it an injury, be it exposure. There has to be something that happened in service that could have caused this problem. Well, then we have to have a diagnosis. And after that, and the diagnosis could have came while they were in service. It could have been right after they came out. And the other thing is we have to have the continuation of treatment. I mean, you didn't have to have treatment as soon as you came out of the service, but let's say you injured your back and Here it is. It's 5 years after you got out. You're having some back problems. Okay, you go see the chiropractor. Well, everything's good. You go another 4 or 5 years. Well, you're back seeing them again. Those are things that kind of lead to pointing towards that. And then when we see in the service treatment records, oh, well, you saw the Corbin or the medic 3 different times for a back injury.
Right. When you can tie those incidents together.
Yeah, even though there's no diagnosis there's an incident
Gotcha.
that we're able to do. And there's times that we have to get buddy statements. And it's much easier for the guys today to stay in contact as it was for all the guys and gals before Desert Storm. We didn't have social media.
Sure.
We did the old pen and paper and stick a stamp on it.
Yeah. So things have changed.
Yeah. And people move and you lose track of them. So there's a lot of things that come into play to get a claim ready to even go to the VA, which is why they do their intent. We do an intent to file that gives us up to 12 months to be able to develop a claim.
Okay.
And I had one Desert Storm gentleman, hadn't been to the doctor in 25 years. It took us 11 months to get him through doctor appointments and everything else, so we could even file a claim to start getting these conditions listed. And if his wife's listening out there, she'll know I was talking about her veteran. And as they went, she was a big help in this, because she was able to give us information on things that he forgot. And then we started digging through the records. There's things we found that he forgot about. So it was a long process to be able to work on his. But having never filed a claim before, it took us a year of development to be able to file, and then took the VA almost another year to decide to claim. And they ended up granting 60%.
Oh, wow.
So there's 2 years of back pay.
Wow.
And so, I mean, even $152, every 10 months, there's $1,500
You bet.
that you're that they owe you.
Exactly.
And so that's why I look at the back pay and keeping those claims open. And that's a real big thing. And I tell everyone, again, pack your patience. This is not a sprint. You didn't get this way overnight. This is a marathon.
Yeah.
And there's going to be some times we're going to be behind on the leg. We may have some times when we're ahead, but it's a marathon.
So just stick with them and just absolutely, if you have any questions, if you know of any veterans that have any questions, you need to reach out to Terry Wilson and his team over at the Veteran Service Office here in Robertson County. Well, I'm going to do my ad. We're going to come back, and I want you to, again, remind people that you're hiring. We'll take just a minute to do that and how to get in touch with you. And I did find that picture from Bill's page of the hospital when it opened up, and it's that building. Of course, it's been adjusted, but it's very interesting to see that building in its original intent, and now it's the county office building. But anyway, we're going to pause and talk about my friends at Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center. And this is another place that I encourage you to really follow on social media. If you want to know the latest thing that's happening over at Corbin, just go to their social media. Amy is wonderful about putting up the latest sales she's got. They don't have mums this year, and again, we've talked extensively about that. Miss Jane was sick when it was time to put those and get those started, and they couldn't do it. Miss Jane comes first, so she says, really, it's like the first time, and I thought she said like 30 years she hadn't had mums. So people are a little bit surprised. But what they do have is they've got their pansies that are just absolutely beautiful at this time of the year. And I picked up some winter cabbage the other day, and I'm loving it. It is beautiful, and it's hardy through a hard freeze, is what Amy told me. And so I'm really enjoying that color. These pansy baskets are beautiful. I'm regretting I didn't get me a couple to hang on my porch right now. I may have to head back out there. $15 for a beautiful, colorful basket of pansies. And then they've got flats and different things like that as well. They've got their perennials 25% off. I also picked up a couple of things of the grass that looks like cotton candy. Lacey Bew put me on that, and it's just cool stuff. And I got me a couple of those perennials, got 25% off those. If you go through the Facebook page, you're going to see all kinds of fun aprons and crafts and breads and just fun things that they have for sale there within the shop. And you're also going to find out about their CBD products that are Robertson County CBD. Got a lot of my friends using this stuff because it's right at the source. And that's where you want to go and get, if you're interested in CBD and the difference it can make for you, I can't say enough about it. They're at 4920 Highway 161 here in Springfield. You can give them a call if you've got questions, 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185. Reach out to them today, and always please tell them that U-Turn sent you. And we're going to just put the final wraps on the show here with my friend Terry Wilson from Veteran Service Office. Tell them again about your job you have open, how to find you, and all of those things as we wrap it up.
Yes, we have an opening at the office right now for an admin assistant, and this position has the ability to move into an assistant VSO, and that person then would be handling more and more on claims, but we'd be doing a lot of in-office training, preparing that person because the next accreditation training will be in January.
Okay.
So we'll be doing a lot of in-office training. Our thing is to make sure that they know as much as they can so that that training is a little bit easier when they go to it.
Full-time benefits, insurance. I'm helping you out here because we got to wrap it up.
505 South Brown Street, Springfield, in the county office building. Phone number 615-382-6506. 615-382-6506.
Thank you so much, Terry Wilson, my friend. He's here on the first Wednesday every month. Appreciate you joining us here for One Street Over. The Go Show's coming up with Clint Roten is here. He is filling in for my sweet friend Lee Marie, and I think Pat's coming in as well, right? She's here as well, and so we're going to get them set, and they're going to take over the show here in just a moment. Stay tuned for The Go Show here on 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a wonderful day.